Hey guys, how's it going? Welcome to the Shrewsbury Biscuit podcast. I'm your host, Alex Whiteley, and joining me today is a guy that I've seen on Facebook quite a bit, Instagram mainly. If you've seen the hashtag Talk to Tom, you'll know exactly who I'm talking to. Thank you very much for joining me, Tom.
Yeah, thanks very much for having me. Thank you.
I've got to apologise in advance. I do have a bit of a frog in my throat today. And I haven't written down any notes because I think out of all the interviews that we do, because we've been talking about this episode for a couple of weeks now, haven't we? There are certain things that need to sound organic and free.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, because what you're doing right now is organic to you because you don't know who's going to come and talk to you.
No,
right?
exactly.
So that's what I wanted to do for today.
Yeah,
you know. So the funny twist as well is my wife was like, "Yeah, he lives in our building."
Yeah, I didn't even know that you guys live in the same building, which even makes it more. I just thought, oh my god, I feel bad. I probably walked past you or something like that. Completely didn't know.
But that's it, though, right? You don't notice a certain car until you bought that same model of car, right?
Yeah, 100%. Yeah,
yeah. So that you're not looking for me, so you don't know. So
true.
I mean, there's a poster of me in the garage underneath.
Yeah.
But unless you use the garage. Yeah. But no, it's great that because now we know each other.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So now we can actually have like coffees and chats and stuff like that.
Exactly. And the best thing I love about what you're doing is you're not just We'll get into the nitty gritty and the important parts of what you're doing in a bit. But first of all, I want to say thank you for helping to promote independent businesses. Those coffee shops that need that hashtag. That hashtag is quite important now.
Yeah, I think there's obviously we got two meanings in terms of what I'm aiming to do. Mm-hmm. At the moment I am going around in certain independent coffee shops, probably in certain support for them, and because obviously during this time now, this year, it's very difficult for any kind of business, I think, but also it's a safe environment to go to, especially around in the coffee shops that I go to now, I'm dotting about. But mainly kind of like to sit down and have a chat, and because it's the environment that coffee shops make naturally, I think, for me personally.
Well, they're designed that way, aren't they? A lot of them are designed to have the lower lighting.
You can hear like the different music, different layouts, set outs. The different kind of different art on the walls and stuff like that. So it's all kind of really laid back, and I thought that was the kind of the perfect environment for Talk to Tom.
And I think we're lucky in Shrewsbury because there's so many coffee shops. There's one to fit your vibe, right? There is one. Yeah. I mean, Stop Cafe, for example. You've been talking about it earlier. You going there today? Is that right?
Yeah, Stop Cafe, St Julian's one.
Okay, that was where I used to go and sit and edit. It's coming up to 2 years in November since the biscuit began, and Stop Cafe was the good luck place for me to go. Yeah, because not only there was one of my first interviews, but I would arrange a lot of my meetings there. The one in the museum, I'd arrange to meet people there, and a lot of good things happened there for me.
The funny thing is, people actually forget these coffee shops are around and about. Yeah. So obviously, I was having a chat with my dad, actually, funny enough, and he was like, I didn't know there was two coffee shops, and I think another person was exactly the same. So I had to describe where I was going or where I was at for Talk to Tom. So, obviously the museum one is very well hidden at the back.
Yes, yeah.
But then you got the Stop Cafe when you go over the bridge on that side.
There's the university as well. So there's three of them, isn't there?
Yes. Yeah. I don't know if that one's still open, but yeah, I think probably will be. I'm not entirely sure, but there's all the kind of the quirky ones I always like seeing, but it's nothing to do about the style I choose. It's more in the sense of who needs support in terms of people that just need to sit down and have a chat in a place, in a safe environment.
Yes.
And so, for example, I think the nicest highlight I think probably last week was mainly from at Taste of Shrewsbury Cafe. Obviously meeting two, a couple and a person altogether. I try to be confidential because obviously it's not. Of
course,
it's personal. It's you know, it's.
I guess you do this. You just come completely free, right?
Absolutely,
So you can't call them clients because no money is exchanged hands. So.
I did. I was just trying to think of like, you know, if it. And was
I think clients is a very numbery type.
And this is what,
thing.
yeah, exactly. I think I want to kind of make it straight is that it's the environment that Talk to Tom is like it's an informal environment. So it's more in the sense of it's not, you know, I know I keep telling everyone that I'm not a professional advisor, straight up, but I'm just here to listen and have a chat and hopefully make your your day a little bit better.
Yeah.
And thankfully I've kind of seen that done all together, and I was really, really happy about what the outcome came out. And it wasn't to kind of say hallelujah, I've helped to that from that person, like going hallelujah coming out the side of the thing. I'm like, I feel so much better. It's just that little things at a time, where something's on their chest, and if I could break away just a little bit at a time to help them out, like to feel a little bit better about themselves, then that's the importance.
I think talking to a stranger as well sounds daft, but like social anxiety for me. I need to stop talking about that. Jeez, it's all I talk about. But no, it's learning to speak to strangers was a big help for me. It's almost like a cure for me. This biscuit thing that I do, right? This because speaking to strangers was always difficult. When I was younger, I would struggle with eye contact.
Yeah.
I'd struggle with posture and things like just silly things like that, because I don't know these people, I don't trust them.
Yeah.
Whereas now I speak to strangers, new people I meet every week. Like, I do this for the biscuit, the You Suck stuff. Like at least 3 strangers a week I'll speak to.
Yeah.
And I love it. Yeah. I love just getting to know someone for an hour at a time.
Yeah. It kind of gives you confidence, like. From in the personal background, my side, like my confidence came from like doing performing arts, doing dance, and then I did a lot of drama because I got I don't know if anyone knows about this, but it's like aphasia. So have you ever heard that before?
No.
So aphasia is like a certain like speech impediment that happens. So the best metaphor that my sister ever gave me was that your mind right now is got like a library inside. So when you string your sentence, it comes, you pick out the books and you form your sentence. In my mind, that the books are all on the floor, and I'm having to try and pick up the actual sentences, and sometimes it can be the other way around, if that makes sense, to formulate sentences. So it takes me a while to kind of like store the information.
Almost like your
the questions
translating, like like as if English wasn't your first language.
Exactly.
Like, yeah.
So, but in when it came to the performing arts side, that was more my language. I created my own language when it came to movements and stuff like that. So, but this kind of like style for me in terms of Talk to Tom and sitting down is that I'm because I've been having like speech and therapy like when I was in school and stuff like that. It made it a massive impact. So, and just feeling okay to talk about to new people because they're not going to judge, and I hope they don't feel like they're judged.
Even after therapy, does that thing come back when you're highly stressed? Or
God, 100%. Like when I'm hungry, that's one big thing. Or just even the main things like when I'm tired, obviously just like feeling like it's been a long day. And I think personal side, like my girlfriend and my family, like they know the tics or the traits that my speech is getting. Is
it gone to a point where they can be? You can have a joke about it and stuff like that.
Yeah,
have a Snickers, Dave. Sort of thing.
Pretty much like that. I think especially with my dad in particular, like he knows that I use certain words to start my sentences. So like a phrase that I can remember. So this, I was going to say the word then, but it's like basically.
Yeah.
So basically, there you go, and then then I start my sentence and get it all rolling and stuff. So there's a couple of words that kind of like help me out and string together.
It's a hard thing to do, I imagine. So well done for
yeah, man. And, cheers.
I had a friend who had a speech impediment, and we were sitting around lunch at work one time, and I was like, I saw someone on TV, and he had a stammer, right? He had a stammer, and I was looking. This person had a lisp. I think it was Kripke from Big Bang Theory. I'm pretty sure. And I was like, oh man, lisps are so cool. Like, because I love a lisp, but genuinely, I was just like, I think it'd be really cool.
Yeah.
And he's like, are you taking the mick? I was like, no. Not everybody who mentions it is taking the mickey, like, you know. So performing arts drama. So what do you do for a living outside of this?
Yeah, so a bit of a different leap, really. So on a Monday to Thursday, I work at Shropshire Wildlife Trust.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so I'm a project officer for Growing Confidence project. So it's on its last year at the moment, but we're looking at obviously to further extend the funding on that one. So, and then on the Fridays, I kind of help out, and the evenings in the week, I help out at a gym called Indoor Fitness with a really nice lad called Connor Bishop, who's run it up really, really nicely. He's created he's kind of like formulated like a really good community or a family network really for each other. And just in the free time, that's when I obviously now got into Talk to Tom. Yeah. So when I get a chance of like a Friday middays, Saturdays, and then try and leave Sunday free for me and my missus to be together and stuff like that, you know, just to try and like balance life as usual as well. Yeah. You know, I do Talk to Tom as well, so that's.
And when did Talk to Tom start then? How long have you been doing it for?
I think if I remember, it's probably like now 4 weeks ago now. So it's
very
now
recent.
Really recent. And it just ignited altogether. It just came out as inviting, the people on Facebook that you have, like and your friends, and you create that kind of page. You invite all of them and just see what they say. And I think I remember just taking like a piece of paper and just like drawing. I wasn't the greatest drawer with it, but it just said, trying to like fill in Talk to Tom, and then I get my missus to kind of like take the photo, and then that was it. It just kind of ignited when I put it on the page for the Love of Shrewsbury, and it just I didn't think the phone ever stopped in terms of support, and I'm trying to make it as really obvious as that I'm doing something to help and support a community that I think that everyone can benefit, but then also anyone can do, if that makes sense. So and it's not to look around of fame or trying to get into that. It's more in the sense of just saying. So
this isn't a vanity project. It's a genuine. I want to help people.
Yeah, exactly.
This is how I'm going to do it.
And the most important thing is that it's free therapy. We know we've got all these statistics. We've got all these analysis about mental health is going on a big rise.
Yes.
And we all know this. We tend to do a lot of talking. For me, in personal sense, but I'm more of an action person, doing things. Yeah. Practical is my like strength. So like I wanted to kind of make a difference, but obviously for certain reasons why obviously down that road. So so definitely just sitting down.
I'm not going to be cynical about this because I like what you're doing. I'm a big advocate for mental health at all. But say that this takes off and you've got to talk to Andy or a talk to Phil and a talk to Lucy or all these people that start doing it. Is there not a place where people can take advantage of that? It sounds daft, but people are people, and I don't like to be cynical, but you know what I mean? Lure people into.
I shouldn't be jealous of the movement that I'm created.
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, it would be quite funny seeing about 1,000 different little signposts saying hashtag talk to whoever it is, all around in a coffee shop would be like, God damn it, how did he know? But this is the whole thing, the whole.
That was quite a curveball of a question. I'm so sorry, but I've got to
absolutely, absolutely. I think I totally agree. I totally understand. There have been people obviously asking for like to be a volunteer or to help or support, this kind of thing that I'm doing. The movement. That I'm doing, and I'll be honest. I'll say to them, do it. because this is what I'm trying to tell, is that you can give, anyone individually can give free therapy to someone if they lend an ear, lend a hand. Yes. And that's probably one of the most strongest things, because we know that, you've got like, I don't know if it's 8 weeks or 6 weeks wait to go on to counselling. Mm-hmm. We all know that kind of stuff. Or
3 months it was.
Oh, there you go. I don't really know. It's like either a 6 month wait and stuff. 6 months is too long. Far too long. And if you really think about like the individuals that are probably at that feeling, should we say, not at the point break, I don't want to say that, it's more in the sense of the feeling, because that feeling can be changed, to kind of get that support and just literally lend an ear and talk.
Yeah.
So
I think it's great what you're doing. That wasn't what that question was designed for. You've got to look at all angles. And is there any advice you give to people that are going to come to see you on how to do it safely? Obviously with coronavirus and social distancing, domestic abuse. If some guy knows that some bird's talking to another guy in a cafe and what have you, like, they could cause problems. So is there any sort of contingencies you put in place?
Do it in your safe environment that you know best. Obviously, this is what I say constantly, and kind of like a bit of a stamp down, really, to kind of say, if you are wanting to kind of do what I'm doing at the moment, which is free therapy for someone, I always kind of say is that do it in a safe environment that you feel comfortable. And even if you want someone to be with you as well, because to myself, I do it on my own, but I do it in a safe environment, and I'm quite capable of, obviously, if anything, I don't know whether it does kick off or anything like that. It never does.
This is why you choose the locations you do, though.
Correct.
Isn't it? Right. You choose these very relaxed environments.
Yeah.
And
an environment that people will probably feel, hopefully to think it's a distraction.
And it's very public as well. I mean, that's the most important thing. Is things like this. It doesn't help. It doesn't harm the fact that there are people about. There's a business owner, probably CCTV. These things. So it's good.
Yeah, we've got to have a look about this, because another metaphor. Actually, walking out of the Bromley Court, me and my missus walking out of the flat, and we saw a piece of rubbish on the floor. Our first instinct is someone else will do it.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So when you walk past, the second thing, then in my mind I go, nah, come on, pick it up and then put it in the bin. So when I did do that, I thought to myself, did I make an impact for a young kid walking past, going back to school and looking what I just did, and I pick up that litter and put it in there? But the metaphor on that one, or if it is the word metaphor, but we see the litter as mental health. We look at it, we kind of walk past it, we know it's there, and no one's going to be doing something about it. We tend to leave it to someone else.
Exactly.
And I think we can talk and talk and talk in the sense of, social media is like, which social media can be a good thing and a bad thing. Yeah. So, but that's the most important thing, is just like, whether you want to do something about it by doing things like actually picking up that litter and putting it in the bin. But using that metaphor as saying mental health, you pick it up and let's talk about it face to face and get it home.
Nice. And the first time you used the hashtag, the first time you set it up, what was that like for you? I mean, I know we don't. You're doing this, like I said, it's not a vanity project, but waiting for someone to turn up for the first time.
Yeah.
What was that like for you?
This is what I'm saying, is that I love. Yeah. God, sometimes it's really cool. Definitely a bit nerve-wracking, because it's the same boots as someone else coming up to you going, are you Tom? And I'll just make sure I look at my sign, just going, it's definitely not Jeff, but I love going into an environment of coffee shops. That's my kind of like, I shouldn't say second home, because it's just a nice environment.
It's a nice environment, yeah.
And it doesn't matter if I don't have someone on that day. It's there as a mechanism or a resource for someone to be reaching out.
Did someone turn up the first time?
First turn up, it's more intrigued people. Like, I think I remember saying it on the radio, saying there was a lot of families, and there was a dad and his kid came straight up to me, and he was like, so what's this Talk to Tom about? And then obviously explained about it, and they were quite like, okay, yeah, fair play, man, good for you. And another kind of form is that what we got to look at is, in particular, you've got to other people. Here we go. This is what aphasia does now. So I've lost it, and then it takes off from there. But
we did something similar. We set up on the top tier of not the top tier, the first floor of the market hall. Right, there's a bench tucked as you come up those stairs.
Yes,
there's a bench tucked just by the manager's office.
I know you are.
And we set up there. We spoke to Darren from Gin Different. We just did an amazing interview.
Yeah.
It's a really good place to set up.
Yeah, definitely.
Because people were so intrigued. They would walk past, and as we were recording, I'd be like, yeah, so you've been doing this business for a long time. And you get some guy going, what's this? What are you doing? And I'd be like, it's the Shrewsbury Biscuit podcast, yeah. Oh, that's nice, But you're right, people will just ask, won't they?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. So, I'm happy with that. And if they want to give the questions, and it actually happened yesterday, which was really nice to see. Two lads, I believe their name was Tom and Warwick, and I think they're quite happy to name their names out. And but they were more intrigued first because they were sitting down in Bird's Nest and they're just having some food, and they looked around and goes, I'm quite intrigued now actually. What's and then they looked at me in terms of eye contact and they said, what's this all about then? Explained it. They came over once they finished, and then we just sat down and had a chat. And that's just the starting point for someone to kind of open up, and especially with men in particular, we know that. And I'm
so glad you said that.
Yeah,
I'm so glad because it's not easy being a guy. Like it really isn't. I know that women have had a lot of hardship over the years, and I'm a supporter of that.
Yeah.
But it is hard to be a guy when it comes to just talking to someone. Like I was just telling you about somebody we both know that I spoke to. For the first time the other night, and he's massive, he's huge, big bodybuilder, and normally, a normal guy wouldn't normally go up to someone like that and be like, what's up, mate, how's it going, and have a conversation, because I might feel intimidated, because that's the world we live in right now, right?
Yeah. And I kind of say yeah about that, and kind of say no about that, because playing rugby as well at Shrewsbury Rugby Club, everyone's all I went on Tuesday night, I think it was, and I haven't been there for a while, so I need to step up again. But he said that a lot of the lads who are obviously slightly bigger built and stuff like that, and they actually still have that slight affection about, obviously, thanking me first about the Talk to Tom, but then also just, it's like short bursts for men. They have little moments because they don't want to open it fully, because if they do, they kind of they feel embarrassed and stuff like that, and I don't think they should feel that embarrassment, because coming back to this kind of like Talk to Tom is that if, say for example yourself, like you were in the cafe and you got upset, right? So, and if it was like a rugby player or something like that being upset, like in the coffee shop, what we should do in terms of community and society is make that environment as comfortable as ever. Mm-hmm. So having that decency for that human being to go up to someone and say, "Are you all right?" And it makes it's such a powerful thing. But for that person who's being upset to feel okay to talk about it in an open environment, because mental health in itself is a very complex environment.
Absolutely.
Very complex environment.
It's not easy to elaborate. I'm not saying that every guy is the same and everybody reacts the same, but guys, it's amazing to see it all changing now, because mental health in speaking, crying, being human is being encouraged in guys now, because it's never, in the old days it was like, oh, don't cry, don't be a girl, oh, look, whereas it's not. It's really important, and people may scoff at that, but I think it's really, really important to realise that you have emotions too,
definitely.
And you're allowed to talk about these things too. I mean, I work around mental health, I don't work in mental health, I see it. And there may be situations when I'm in work where I'll need to speak to someone, and I know, because I have a lot of empathy for people, that somebody towering over someone going, "Oh, what's up, mate? What's up now?" So that's not going to help. So you come to the level. So what's the matter? Oh, is everything okay? Can I help you? Is there something you want to talk to me? That means the world to them.
Yeah,
people.
Definitely. I probably have not seen that with Talk to Tom in physical term. Probably like yesterday, yes, I did, in terms of they were intrigued and they actually opened out, the two lads, and that was really, really, really brave of them, should we say.
Yes.
And I don't want to say bravery. It's more in the sense that it should be like, okay, cool, nice. And how did you cope, or what was the mechanisms and stuff? That's what we should be really thinking, because we've got to share all these mechanisms.
Yes.
But the main area as well is that when I said about men not physically come and see me, but it's more in the sense of they're telling me on social media. So I had a really strong, powerful one where a lad in his family, he just basically he said, "Look, I don't even know you, but what you're doing is amazing. So you never know, you're going to save someone's life," and that's a really powerful statement for any man or for any human being to kind of deal with that statement. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So
that is the ultimate sort of drive for you. I
imagine,
definitely. What you're doing, because you've done this thing. You don't know if it's going to work out. You don't know if you're going to get any followers. You don't know if anyone's going to even like the stuff that you do. But all of a sudden, bam, yes, this is amazing. And it was actually Shane. I mean, I was aware of you. I saw you on Instagram, and it was actually Shane, my co-host, who was like, "This guy's amazing. Get him on the show." And I think, did he get in touch with you?
I think he did, yeah. And then I think he tagged you or something like that. And
I was like, "Yeah, I'm aware. I'm going to do this.
Just give me a minute. He's only right next door."
Well, this is the thing, right? Because a lot of the stuff I do for the Biscuit is stupid hours in the morning when I'm at work and it's quiet. So messaging you at 2:00 in the morning wouldn't have been. So that's when I saw you.
To be honest, if you did it today, then I would have been up already. So So no, I know what you mean.
Social media, how quickly has it grown for you? Which is the best platform for you?
Both, in some sense, Instagram and Facebook and Instagram. So. I think the whole part of the public looking at the social media that I've done now it's shown as a positive news.
Yeah.
And I think and I like to kind of keep it like that way, in terms of telling him where I'm going to be at next, my whereabouts, and then what else is going to be, in terms of what kind of other good things about what we're doing. So for example, today, I think I tagged you on the Facebook thing, and more.
Oh, did you? I haven't.
That's all right. No, but it's more in a sense of it's yes, I'm tagging you in terms of saying check out this, then tune in or with the podcast. But it's more in a sense of this podcast is helping out for this awareness about Talk to Tom, and that's the whole point. Yeah. I think I don't know when it's going to be, the newspaper is going to be out, because I've been going on a newspaper as well. But that's more in a sense of awareness, making sure that I say it in the most detailed way. If someone was walking past feeling, either anxious or lonely or anything like that, they see, a damp newspaper that actually has my name, that the little sign saying Talk to Tom. And they just look at it and glimpse, and they'd be like, "How was Talk to Tom?" And probably just grab that little wet paper just to have a little quick read, and then probably have a look and investigate where I'm going to be at next. That could be something. It could be the most minute difference to help out someone. So,
I mean, I was quite cynical with you at the beginning there, and I did that on purpose, really, because
no, definitely, that's fine.
Yeah, but your message is really important.
Yeah.
Because if we could get a dozen of Talk to Toms across Shrewsbury,
that
are genuine, and really do want to help people.
Yeah.
Like you said, it could mean the world to people. It could be that bridge, that 3-month bridge.
Yeah.
For when the people are waiting for help, which they shouldn't have to wait 3 or 6 months for anyway, which is ridiculous. And diagnosis as well needs to smarten up a bit, I've got to say. That could be the bridge, and I think it's a model that can be successful, because it's like weight training for people as well. Okay, because I know people that do suffer with so much social anxiety, they cannot go into a shop, they can't ride on a bus, they can't do this, they can't do that. So walking up to someone, and this isn't me, by the way, I'm talking about other people, to go into a coffee shop and speak to a complete stranger. They would have to build themselves up to that. I know people that would have to do that. So you'd help people do that, attain that goal, So well done.
Yeah, thanks, man. Yeah. I think it takes a lot of. I've said this on the radio, just more in the sense of I'm not trying to be building myself up. Really, it's more in the sense of it takes a lot of guts for anyone. It could have been talk to Greg. Talk to Dave, talk to someone, and they talk to Laura, talk to Stacey. It could be any anyone who could have done that, and I hopefully one day would not need to know my sign, take my sign and go and sit in a coffee shop where someone, even if I'm not doing it, talk to Tom in terms of posting it out and stuff, but just coming up and saying hello. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, and I think if they did that with everyone, or someone was needing that from someone, that should be the most honest, open, comfortable, safe environment as possible, and that's a really strong point. So.
Yeah, I mean, there's no feeling more powerful than saying hello to a stranger as they walk past them and they say hello back and they smile.
Yeah.
And they smile at you.
Did you ever had that thing with during lockdown when you did your little exercise as you go along, like outside, you do your walk, you do a daily walk?
Yeah. I mean, I was working. I was
working out. Yeah. When I get the chance, I used to do like 1 or 2 times, like or just do a really long, massive walk down to the Doctor's Field way. And see the San Martins coming, like peeping in through, like the banks and stuff. That was pretty sick. But more in the sense of you could see during lockdown the desperation of someone talking to someone, and I think we started to kind of getting fed up with social media. Let's be honest, because all these Zoom quizzes and all that kind of stuff like that. And I think it's mainly important that you got someone coming up to you. And then you're just going to go, wow, like, how you doing? Nice to meet you. So, and when you see the person regularly come in to the same walk, do the same thing, and you start to kind of like build up a kind of network or communication.
It was a bit like, I always remember years ago, there was a girl that used to get on the bus with me every time to school. And I'd never had the courage to speak to her. She was really pretty. Yeah. I was like, I'll just go speak to her right now. But I'm not going to because I'm scared, right? But yeah, we'd see each other, and every time she didn't get on the bus, we'd be like, "Oh, she's okay." It's just it's weird, isn't it? It's weird. Like those connections you have with people.
I do the same route every time going over the I think it's the English Bridge.
Yeah,
and I always see a couple of people that come the same way back up towards the Wycott, and it's starting to see slowly. How you doing? You all right? Nice to meet you. And then the conversation's starting to kind of like build as you're going on. So that's always quite a nice feeling. So I know what you mean, but like, plucking up the courage, just like shaking your shoulders and getting ready for it.
Hi. And that is a gamble for me personally. Like if I'm in a coffee shop and I don't know, somebody, and I lean over and be like, oh, the dog's nice, or something like just a comment like that, just to try and break the ice. That's a big gamble for me.
Well, I took the dogs last time to Shrewsbury Coffee House.
Oh right, yeah.
That was a bit of a challenge itself because poor old Ted, he's probably about 10, 11, I think. Stairs wasn't his. Stairs was his enemy. Yeah. Almost like Kung Fu Panda kind of style, like but going down the stairs. But it's a really cool breaking the ice kind of conversation, start the conversation and stuff. And pet therapy is really, really cool. Lots of different like areas and stuff.
It's like that meme. when you're on a Zoom call and you hear the dog barking and it says, "I want to see the baby."
Yeah. Show me the princess. No, I know what you mean. But yeah, so that was quite a cool thing, because when the dogs were relaxed and all kind of stuff in the coffee house, and when I did my talk to Tom then, it was the first reaction was the dogs first, of course, because you want to give them a stroke and cuddle and stuff like that, and then they get into the well, so what are you doing now? Oh yeah, well, actually no, I've seen you before, and that kind of thing, and it's a nice feeling. Knowing that you can,
it's and downstairs as well, down that coffee shop is it's a little gem downstairs in the Shrewsbury Coffee House. It's like it's like you said, the stairs are steep. But I've recorded there a couple of times, I believe. It was really funny because I spoke to the guys from Myth Stories, who are great, by the way. You should definitely check out Myth Stories, storytellers.
Yeah.
And I didn't have any of this equipment back then. I had a little Tascam microphones, which I set up in the middle, very 1990s Erin Brockovich sort of.
Nice.
And so I set it up in the table, and there was like a hen do getting ready. They were like the coffee before the hen do, and every time somebody walked, he'd be like, she's here, and then we just like, I'm doing a podcast. It was such a great, another place actually where I've held a lot of meetings that have gone really well for me. I love the Shrewsbury coffee, good coffee as well.
Definitely, man.
And that's what I envy about you, is that you get to go out and taste all the amazing coffees in Shrewsbury. Because
definitely. I think I know a really good place as well around the corner of Shrewsbury Coffee House is the Colonel Sons.
I walked past that a couple of times. That
place is such a cool environment. A nice little quirky little stop. Especially when you're coming out from a train station and you're just like waiting for the train or something like that, and you can just stop by there. Brilliant. And the coffee is, to die for. Really.
I feel like we're coffee owners in Shrewsbury. You almost create this relationship with the coffee shop owner or something, where it's like they remember your name, and you bought that. They know you're regular. Like I would just been in a coffee shop now, Riverview, and they were like, black Americano with
the regular kind of thing. Yeah.
So when you go to another coffee shop, it almost feels like you're cheating on them, right?
Yeah, pretty much.
So I like to find spots to edit. I used to edit in Greyfriars, Stop, the one in the museum, Stop Cafe, loads of places actually around town. But I found Daily Brews. Daily Brews was next door to
classic,
and they had USB plugs all the way down the
aisles.
Yeah, I was like, my laptop lives here now. So it's just one of those things, isn't it? You go to one place for one thing, one place for another.
I know that we got so many coffee shops and stuff like that. That create really, really nice environments and stuff. I like the ones that you probably don't hear and that probably need support, but then also you got to think about in terms of whether the other person who wants to come and have a chat feels like that's their environment, that they feel safe. Does that make sense? So I'm intrigued to see the one to go to, when you go where Wilco's is, and you got that up that hill. I can't remember the name of the hill it is now, but there's a nice little, really old classic cafe, and I haven't been there before at all, but I think I love the kind of traditional kind of coffee place like that.
I always remember when I was a kid going to a cafe with my dad, and it was like the old squeezy sort of ketchup bottles, the granite style tables, the basic sort of stuff, and you just get the
I think it's when the seats are like this close and stuff like that.
Yeah,
and
they're like joined to the table.
Yeah, you're squeezing with your, and you got your dad like with the shoulders and. I got it all the time.
You need to keep them. Because 100%. Very famously, of course, people threw out all the decor of the 50s and the 60s and diners to make everything modern, and then they were like, actually, and then they went and bought it all back, and 50s diners became a thing. They could have just kept it the same.
No, definitely.
I get it. Move with the times, because, like you said, every coffee shop has got its own little vibe.
Correct.
And so, we're lucky to live in a culture like this.
Yeah.
What coffee shops have you visited so far? So you've been doing this 3 weeks. How many days a week are you doing this?
So I think this is the biggest one, like in terms of just doing 3. So I'm going to be today doing Stop Cafe, St Julian's, the one at the Crescent one, around about 1 to 3 p.m. And the next one will be which is quite important actually. It's quite a good combine. So we're going to be at the Pause Cafe, and it's going to be tomorrow. It's going to be World Mental Health Day. And also
which cafe was that again?
Pause Cafe.
Pause.
Yeah, with the cats.
Pause. Okay,
Pause.
I was thinking poorhouse. Okay.
Yeah.
Pause.
Oh no, pause. Meow.
Pause. Yeah. A model. Yeah, make sure.
I wish I didn't say a meow. But they focus on, quite importantly, like the kind of
support animals,
pet
right?
therapy kind of style and look around. Oh yeah, and also Sweet. Yeah, Sweet. Last week, and that was really nice vibe.
Very good choice.
Yeah. No, honestly, yeah. I think the reason why I'm going to these ones is obviously the people have obviously seen, they kind of talk to Tom, and they support what I'm doing.
Yes.
But also they've got certain things that they feel passionate about. So, for example, with Sweet, they had they looked at young minds in Shropshire. So they obviously had that, and that was quite important to them. So, I think it's a balance of obviously to kind of talk to Tom to kind of make it informal and just being as comfortable as possible. You could talk to me about anything you want, and that's absolutely fine for me. And then also there's other resources that that other charities can do. Does that make sense? And support. And I think what was really cool is that it's really other cafes that have been reaching out as well. Similar people who have talked about their kind of like mental health and stuff like that, which has been really, really cool. I know, for example, I reached, I think, on Facebook about 1,000, but I made sure I said to them, I said, the 1,000 likes isn't about the kind of fame thing about it. It's what you're doing. You're doing your part, which is obviously sharing and helping for someone that might need reaching out. And that's a really, really important thing. And there was a chap on there on the Instagram, funny enough, and he just goes, "Look, I'm glad that you're still doing it, even though I don't need it yet. But if I do, I know where to go to." So that's a strong thing.
Yeah, I think it goes back to that litter metaphor, isn't it?
Yeah.
That is absolutely, somebody who's not capable, doesn't have the mental capacity or, the skills to be able to help someone with mental health, knows that somebody else is picking up that litter. And I'm not calling anybody,
no.
But that is it, isn't it?
Yeah, true. Even if, I was thinking about this as well, was, even if cafes weren't actually an environment for someone that isn't comfortable for them.
Yeah.
So we probably need to, obviously maybe thinking about other areas, in terms of an open space that the quarry. Quarry is probably the best one where you can just do a simple walk up and down. You have your own time, and there's no time limit.
Well, there's lots of empty units across Shrewsbury that they could probably utilise for that, like some anti-anxiety bubbles or.
I think anxiety bubble. I think. Linking to what I'm doing at the moment in terms of Shropshire Wildlife Trust, it's that Growing Confidence Project is like an open environment for 11 to 24-year-olds to kind of get out and get introduced into the environmental sector. Okay. So last week I was at Earls Hill, Ponsbury Hill, doing some bramble work and clearance so we could do some bluebells. But a lot of those young people are desperate to go outside and have a form of structure. Of doing something, and they feel safer in an environment that is nature. Does that make sense?
No, that makes sense because people, right?
Yeah, exactly. Foreclosed. I remember in Manchester, the environment that I was in at that time was not. I felt safe. I didn't feel safe.
Okay.
It felt like with that going to living in a house share that felt like 4 walls was pretty horrendous. I don't know what it was. It wasn't. I wasn't in a good place at that time, so it was all kind of like negative things were thrown left, right, and centre. So you kind of like a couple of jabs and stuff like that. But then walking along the canal around the strips on there, and that was the kind of like the beauty spots at the time. Like, do you know what I mean? Like during the daylight, and that was a nice feeling. So outside is key area that we, I think people need to.
Is it a case of finding the right spot to unlock that that development? That those key skills that you might not get in an urban environment where you put people in.
Well, yeah and no, but because when I'm at when I'm out at the gym, we've got a really good lad who opened up actually, and I'm gonna be honest, and obviously he's he's had a few difficulties and stuff like that, and but he's thankfully opened up, and that was in an environment indoors. So I think what's most important is that it's when you see the signs of someone sitting down wanting to talk to you or wanting to say something, just that's the point where you need to listen, because that's probably a sign of them reaching out and wanting to either rant or talk or anything.
There are so many examples of this that come through my head, but I can't say anything because of work and it's confidentiality. But yeah, you're right.
Correct.
When somebody walks past you all the time, a stroppy teenager, for example, and they don't want to speak to you, and you're kind of like, okay, you're just a stroppy teenager, that's fine.
Yeah.
But then they come to you. You got to make that moment special. You've got to make the most of that. Is your time to shine, because if they come to speak to you, they want to speak to you. There is a reason why they want to speak to you, and if you make it worth their while, they'll come back. And it's about helping people.
Do you know what? I got this thing where I go and do my route going home and going to work. So when I go back, I go through the top of the quarry, go down over the bridge, past Boathouse, etc.
Yeah.
And obviously you've got lots of teenagers from college and stuff like that linger around on the quarry, which is they're totally minding their own business. I get the same thing every time, which is, "You're right, sir, how's it going?" all that kind of stuff. They still come up, and then there was a time where I remember this lad who I was a TA, in Belvedere School at the time. So and then I went to Shropshire Wildlife Trust. So then they still know me, so they're in college now, and I still walk past them. But there was one time where they were actually, talking about during the lockdown, and more in the sense of how they felt when they were trying to find work and stuff like that, and trying to find, trying something to do, trying to keep doing something. So I just listened, I sat there and listened. And I thought that was really important for them, as well as for me, to make sure that their voices were heard and talked to and listened to. So and then I can give them my opinions of what I would do if I was in your boots. Not as in advice, you should do this, you should do that. It's not like that. It's more in a sense of, if I was in your boots, I'd do this.
Yeah, because you don't want to be. Nobody wants to be patronised, do they?
No, exactly not.
And when it comes to young people, we've all had our own different traumas, right? We all ticked a different way, generationally, anyway. What's your demographic like for Talk Tom on social media? Because obviously you've only done 3 weeks. What's the kind of age range you're looking at? Is there a vast spread, or is it a certain area that you need to concentrate on, sort of thing?
No, I think it's everyone.
Yeah.
This is what the important thing is about. Majority at the moment is above the kind of teenager style. So for example, I don't know, probably 18 upwards. But I generally do think it should be for everyone, and it is for everyone. I sent a message, actually, funny enough, to a girl, for example. Is it only for men to talk to?
Oh,
and I was like, no, it's okay, it's all right. It's for everyone, and that's the most important thing. It's a platform, a resource for someone to come up and talk to.
I think it's amazing, and I really do. I hope people that listen to this podcast will support you, Tom.
Yeah, true.
That like on Instagram or on Facebook, it means the absolute world to people like Tom, especially when it comes to funding or awareness. Raising awareness is amazing. So not just a share would just mean a million.
Yeah.
To Tom and what. Excuse me, trying to do that's that coffee. So I know it's quite obvious to some people, but if nobody's aware of what you're doing and kind of the name of what you're doing? How do people find you?
So the best way to do it is obviously through Facebook and Instagram. So Facebook, it's just if you type in "Talk to Tom," it will go hopefully straight in with me with my my fairly fine mustache.
You need to keep that mustache. That's it. You can't get rid of it now.
Man. I got a shook of hand from a stranger before. Just by the way,
it reminds me of that guy from Saving Private Ryan. I can't remember his name.
Oh no, it's not. Oh, I know which one you're thinking of. Is it the?
No,
is he?
You're the one I want about that. I don't know what Upham kills.
Yeah. Upham. Yeah. Oh god, yes, I know which one.
Sad, very sad.
No.
Oh my god.
It just came out. It just came out.
Well, that's what he says in the film. It says, I'm saying it again. Stop it. Right. Okay. Okay.
What you're
Talk to Tom.
Yeah, Talk to Tom, and then Instagram is talk_to Tom. And that's it. Simple.
I think what you're doing is amazing. We are going to be doing very soon when I get time. Okay, so I'm going to need to explain to a couple of people, especially people that are listening to this that try to get me by email and they try and get me to plan things. I literally don't stop. Okay, I want to explain to people my week this week. Okay, so I work night shifts. Sunday night, Monday night, Tuesday night. I finish on a Wednesday morning. This Wednesday at 10:30, I had a business meeting because we're changing to a CIC. So there's forms to fill in, there's things that needs to do. I had that at 10:30. Then I had to write emails and then go to bed. Then Wednesday, my car's broken. And Shane's fixing it, and a part came at 4:00, and Shane was like, I can only do it at 5:00, so I had to get up early from a night shift, go out, take this part. We stood in the rain for about an hour and a half. Didn't work, so they've got to find another part now. Still ongoing. Then I had to come back. Then I had to plan a live show that I did at 11:00. This is all after a night shift, right? Then the next day I come to the studio, which was yesterday. I come to the studio for 10:30. We record an amazing podcast. Then I have to shoot back, go back and sort my car out again. Like all these things that are happening, like I don't stop. The point is I don't stop, and everything that I record I edit. So, and I'm doing a lot by myself at the moment. So it just I just want people to understand that if I don't get back to emails and things like that, it's because I am working really
solid,
really hard. Yeah. And it's not just this. I do another thing called USUK, US-UK, and that needs constant care and attention as well, because it's 4 shows now spread over the world, and the Biscuit as well. So it's I love what I'm doing. Just be patient, people, please, because I can't control the world. But yeah, I do appreciate everybody that sends me in an email. So please keep doing it. Just be patient and wait for me to get back to you and understand.
Mate, you're doing a good job, man.
Well, thank you. I appreciate it. I'm talking to Tom about my problems right now. It's important for me. But no, guys, thank you so much. And make sure you check out our website. Are you going to get a website, or are you just going to keep it simple?
Going to keep it simple, man.
Yeah, so, social media.
Social media. Yeah. It's just simple.
Yeah, I like that. But we do have a website because we're a bit more complex. Our website is www.theshrewsburybiscuitpodcast.co.uk. All of our audio is available whenever I can keep up. I will keep up with it as much as I can. And that's made by our friends at Web Orchard. We love them very much. If you need a good website, make sure you check them out. This episode has been recorded to you by at the Parade Shops just behind St. Mary's here, with a great coffee shop. Lots of great shops here that just every time I come in here, it's completely different. Things change every week. Honestly, a new shop opens up here, or new graphics up here, or it's constantly changing. So make sure you come to the. In fact, we are recording in the shop where Beadles used to be, and as I walked up, there was a lady who just went to walk in and just was like, "Oh, it's gone."
Right, I'll see you in a bit.
Yeah. So that's how often it changes. And also, I want to say a quick thank you to Chris Goff, who is helping us with our businessy stuff at the moment. I want to create a proper advert for him that we're going to run for 3 months, but I haven't had time yet. So we will get that together. So Chris, thank you. Tom, you've been amazing.
Thanks, man. Thanks for having me.
Huge ramble at the end there.
No, that's fine. That's fine.
I wish you all the best. And when we do start doing these open sessions here at the Parade, you're very welcome actually to come and just sit behind the mic and just talk to people. If that sounds daft.
Yeah, no. But I think that might be quite a cool thing.
The plan is 9 o'clock till 5 in the afternoon when this place closes. Just have the studio completely open. Anybody can come and talk to us. This wasn't good. We've been thinking about doing this for a while, and we were thinking of setting up cameras and, really just giving Shrewsbury a chance to come and talk to us. That might be really good. So we can collab on that.
Definitely. I think that might be quite a cool thing. And I think hopefully like everyone can just have that confidence and just coming up and just not feel like you're in the limelight. It's more in the sense of you're helping someone else. And
very importantly, I know we've just nearly signed off, but people don't need to make appointments with you, do they? If they see you open and free on a table, you can just come
and see me. Like, and if you do really need to like talk to someone, just literally just message me on inbox and stuff, and then I'm happy to actually message you back.
Well, on behalf of the independent coffee shops that you are helping support, on behalf of the people you are actually going to help, and in the future, because obviously this is new, and Shrewsbury, you're picking up that litter, man.
Thanks, man.
You're doing a great job.
Pick up the litter.
Yeah. I hope people get inspired by it. Thank you very, very much, guys. We'll catch you next week. Peace out.
Cheers.